Hey, everybody. How y'all doing tonight?
So good.
So good. So good. I like so good. So good tends to be good, actually. Hot take.
I feel like it's
see,
controversial.
I see that I once again am somehow gaslighting the party by having new arrival be the name of the stream. The stream POV.
Yeah.
When the party last left off, it was just a few days before the start of the Wishnest Finch festival. Since the most recent, the new birthings for the year have finally hatched, and some Wishnest Finches are actually starting to fly about, celebrating the end of a dark sun and the start of a young seed. At least, in colloquial ways. Sure, we may have a calendar nowadays, but for most of their history, this has kind of been what the determining factor is. The party has a few activities they can choose to get up to before the day of the festivity if there's anything else that they want to take care of, but for the most part, we're not going to be having any special bash and turn actions or anything like that.
Now that we're back in town, I think it's prudent for us to speak to Atrodon. He's the reason we went out there in the first place.
Do you think he's going to like the news we have?
I don't think he has much choice.
Maybe he could like do a little negotiation on his part if he's got some way of getting in contact with them. I guess he doesn't, because that's what he sent us.
Well,
oh well, wishful
we're
thinking.
bringing back a method of contact, but it is one time.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, JC, the stream visuals aren't on.
This seems problematic. Why does this always happen to me?
Either way, the sooner that we deliver this information to him, the sooner that he can start on a plan to fulfill the 3 requirements. Or at least, the ultimatum that the dwarves gave us.
It's a start, just not what I was hoping to get out of that visit, but a start is a start.
Indeed.
I agree with Rat there.
Real. Is everything alright, Rat?
Just affirming. It was just an affirming. Nodding.
The party makes their way through the city. The naturalists have quite a lot of busy things going on. Currently, you see Atrodon and Izar currently picking up a few crates and sort of moving them around, namely loading them up on a small boat that is docked on the side of this riverway that runs through the majority of the city. They could probably do with a bit of help.
Hey, I'm happy to help. I am not sure what I can do, but
Tedford would just jump right in, try to see something, just try to immediately jump in and help.
I mean, yeah, Kaio is fairly strong, so that certainly helps. Tedford's able to help too. He's got some, technique for it. With the 2 of your help, it goes a lot faster. It's simple, it's easy work, but it's simple but not easy work. Just moving a bunch of things before Atrodon turns and thanks to each of you before Izar heads off to continue managing a few other things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad to see that you've made it back in one piece.
I flash him what I hope is a winning smile.
He's mostly currently talking to Kaio and Tefford, as they're the ones who are probably over by the boat as they finish delivering one of the segments.
Oh yeah. For the most part, absolutely.
Is this as good a spot as any for you, or would you... Is there something that needs to be said in private?
Do you think any communication involving what you sent us to find should be private, or?
I think this is private enough, personally.
Alright.
I look around. How many people are there here?
Not many. There's, like... if you don't count the Bark Watch as people, you know, not many.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like he has complete confidence in his people, which is nice to hear.
Mm-hmm. That is very true.
So, I look around to the group. Who would like to start? I feel like we have a lot to say and also not that much.
Well, I have the crystal that we were given. I believe this should be in your possession for the time being. We were given an ultimatum by the High Dwarves. They gave us 3 tasks to complete, and if we can complete those, we will potentially have their aid in bringing down Karzon.
He takes the crystal, looks at it a little bit, and taps it a tiny bit. This isn't too dissimilar from that other crystal you showed me, I believe, when we first met. He looks at it a little more. Do you happen to still have some of that?
They didn't take that crystal when we met them, did they?
No, they didn't. That's the Flashbang Cave crystals.
Right, I know.
Okay.
We should still have some of it, yes. They actually commented on the fact that we had that self-same crystal.
You said... Anyway, what does this do?
It is a one-time use, essentially a sending stone.
If it's one-time use, if you don't mind, I might be able to replicate some of its magic into some of the other crystals if you give me some time.
Alright. I see no reason not to.
Everybody else said everything. Nobody seems to say what.
Any objections from the rest of you?
No.
I'm really digging this rat core of just, like, grunting.
I mean, most of it's stuff that he's not particularly invested in on the level of, like, the logistics side of how they deal with the sending stone. He's still mad at them for doing something.
Right. Who has the flashbang crystals right now? Is it in group storage?
I think it
might be
part
me.
storage, yeah.
I think I have them, actually. Hold on.
I thought Teffer did as well, but I didn't see it.
If I don't have them, I put them in group storage.
That's probably because I'm stupid, actually.
I think I put them in group storage. Wait, that's the wrong fucking
Nope, you've
Tefrid.
got 3 unidentified crystals.
Yeah, that was the wrong Tefrid.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, this Tefrid's a level 3 rogue. This is old Tefrid.
That's old Tefrid.
All of these are old. Bizarre. Well, don't worry about it. Importantly, if you want to give up those 3, he can probably, he thinks he'll be able to replicate it. I'll be making, like, you know,
Yep.
a few bash and crafting actions to see if he can figure out, how to do it, and if he does, then he'll be able to duplicate it, and if not, you'll get them back.
Mhm.
So how many would you like to give?
I'll give him... Rat, do you want any of these?
He scratches for a moment.
One keep, maybe.
All right. I will give 2 to Atrodon and then 1 to Rat.
Delicious.
So I will drag that into the group storage.
Excellent. And what have they said as far as their involvement?
That's the not so great news.
Yeah, a bit disappointing to get all that way and then find that out, but
I have placed it in group storage, the party storage, the Shining City. I don't know if that's the correct place for me to put it, but that is where it is.
They informed us that if we wanted their assistance in the matter of laying Karzon to rest, we would need to, first, accrue a critical mass of bodies to throw at the problem. Second, acquire the assistance of warriors or some such who would be resistant to the favored tactics of Karzon's ilk. And finally, to resolve the ongoing difficulties with the coatls.
He crosses his
Am I
arms.
missing anything?
Nope, you got it. He crosses his arms a bit, so it's not too dissimilar from what I heard from Mother. So at least they have the same. Last time they were more helpful proactively. Yeah, during the session Hawk was here, he talked about his mom some.
oh, interesting.
Yeah. Does anybody remember anything about that?
No, I think we were all shitting ourselves.
Yeah, that's valid actually.
Yeah, a little bit.
Now what? Now I'm intimidated. Well, whatever.
Oh, I think I get it.
Hmm? Huh? Doesn't get it at all.
Anyway,
If you'll permit me a small curiosity. Do you know anything of the circumstances of when she went to request their aid? Any omens of particular import that day?
I
If
know
she
that-
saw fit to mention them.
Mouth empty. He talks a little bit about how since he wasn't around for that, he was only able to hear some about like how she and Tradon actually like organized a lot of it together, and how he's a little upset that he's only able to hear about it secondhand, but also glad that he didn't have to live through it, and that he's at least been able to, you know, focus on this. He'd hoped that they'd change, but he's got some information for you regardless.
Okay.
He
I was only asking because some time ago I received a vision of the moon itself weeping in an area that appeared very similar to the High Dwarf Sanctuary, and I had hoped to potentially place it in a specific time.
He nods his head a little bit. I can't say I've ever heard anything about that from her, but she's also been very secretive about most of her life, so I can't blame her. It's best that you try not to, he stops like in the middle of that sentence. If you do ever meet her, I'd suggest you stay cautious.
Noted and appreciated.
On the bright side, I've done a fair bit of diplomacy of my own while you've been gone. I've got better support from the kingdoms. The Empire is not willing to help too much more beyond basic supplies, but the kingdom's willing to recognize this a fair bit more as a threat, so we've got some extra reinforcements to defend the city and the nearby areas with scouting.
Well, this is directly on the kingdom's southern borders, as opposed to there being slight insulation between the Empire and this.
Is there anything else I can help you with? We're somewhat busy trying to prepare for the festival, but you take priority if there's anything you'd like.
We're in town for a little bit. And you can see that Kaio is kind of struggling with himself as he says this. Would you like help preparing for the festival?
BBQ, you are. Your
Damn.
mic is.
God damn it.
If you'd be willing to, that would be very kind of you, Kyle.
And again, it's an uncomfortable smile, but yeah. Yes, I would like to do that.
Yeah, they're mostly preparing, getting together some of their food that's been preserved through the Dark Sun month. And, putting it on a ship. Eventually, it gets to the point where the ship is ready to head off. It travels about a, mile up the river or so to where the festival's going to be taking place, which is still well within the confines of the city. And, everyone else is on the boat who's, or on the ship ready to head up. With you being the only person who's off it currently, and of course any of the other party members who choose to be doing that or other things.
I'm a little nervous about getting on a boat, but you know what? I'm willing.
There's some trepidation and some concern as you cross the gangplank onto the boat, since previously you'd just been delivering a lot of the things next to it. Well, the Bark Watch would pick it up and actually put it on the boat, and it's a bit scary, but it's also a bit empowering and a bit conquering, just having the confidence to move forward.
Yeah, exactly.
The brief journey goes without incident as you make your way up and everyone begins unloading at the nearby location.
What is the mood in this area?
Generally pretty good, actually. Little joyous, very excited from a lot of people. This is a pretty big festival. It's essentially a spring festival.
Mm-hmm.
And that brings with it a lot of fun, a lot of games, and a lot of good socializing of people who tend to congregate in big cities at times like these.
And that is a very large part of why he wanted to be here. No offense to y'all, it is difficult only being around the same 4 people for months at a time. Kaio has been craving socialization so badly, and it's just nice to see people in a good mood. People,
Yeah.
We spent months trekking across snowy terrain to get to a dwarf place to play the doors, only for them to tell you to stuff it.
Pretty much, yeah. It was not.
This has been a long time coming.
It's like, oh, these people are happy. We're doing something that people enjoy. I can have a conversation with someone, and I don't know that person. I get to learn something new. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, he's really thankful for the opportunity, even if it does mean some labor. You know what? That's what he's here for.
Look at this fucking extrovert.
I'd imagine
He is very extroverted.
I'd imagine after a little bit, once a lot more of the work is done, Adradon regroups with the rest of the party and just kind of finishes out his note. I understand it might be a bit confusing, but, well, I still love her for all that she's given and provided for me. I think her ultimate goals and aims are something that you'd agree aren't proper. He struggles to find the way to bleeding again.
BBQ?
What?
Bleeding again.
You were bleeding again?
Son of...
It was good for a while. Ultimately, she's trying to divorce a lot of the ideas of what it means to have a destiny, and she sees that as liberating, and I think you'll agree that that's something terrifying more than freeing. He looks mainly at Kaio and Tefred for it, for potential affirmation.
I'm so sorry. I thought this was the rest of the party, not me.
Yeah, same. I thought we were.
No, sorry.
I thought you specifically excluded the two of us.
No, my apologies, my
Friend and
apologies.
friend, you mean?
I meant Tefred and Kaio, but...
Oh, you just forgot that Kai wasn't there. Okay.
Well, he said he regroups with the rest of the party, which I thought meant the rest isn't not me.
Okay, fair enough. The party as a whole.
Sure. Would you mind repeating the last part before the question?
Sure. Essentially talks a little bit in a way that's relatively eloquent about how well he still loves her, that, like, he's disappointed that she's choosing to commit most of her life to a goal that he sees as kind of reprehensible. She's trying to find a way to divorce mortal kind from destiny, which she thinks would be liberating and freeing, but he thinks would be terrifying and aimless.
He looks to me, and I think it's pretty clear that I agree with her more than I agree with him. Unless anyone else would like to speak, I do have a response.
I think you should do it anyway.
Yeah, you should respond. He's talking to you, like
Well, I don't
generally to
know.
you, like looking
Yeah,
at
fantastic,
you.
perfect. Destiny can be a burden. I think it might be frightening not to know what's coming next, but it is just as heavy a weight to have that on your shoulders, knowing that there are expectations, there are things that should happen that you may not have a choice in. I don't know, I think it doesn't have to be all bad.
He kind of moves his head from side to side a bit as he's, contemplating a way to answer.
If I may.
He bows slightly and gestures to Hira.
One could even make the argument that destiny has already been severed. Who among the greatest seers and diviners of mortal kind saw even a glimmer of the spell plague in the future? Have any new prophecies been committed to paper or to stone since it struck down the greatest arcanists?
It's much of my concern, as she has not shown herself again to me since only a few weeks prior to it, which leaves me fearful that she's still in the process of achieving that goal. But this should be a time for merriment. I'm sorry for bringing it back up.
No, not at all.
We can be merry and have these kinds of conversations. And again, he flashes a smile and says, "See? Good mood, no change."
He laughs a bit. I think the simple idea of not having a destiny is freeing, but the question of what it means to get there might be more concerning for me.
Right.
It means mankind has to take the role of many of the gods and forge one's fate themselves.
Kaio does look away and say, "I'd like to see it, but getting there. Getting there's the issue.
Fate is as primal a force of the cosmos as law or good or chaos. To sever mortal kind from fate entirely would be to essentially break the way that the world works. It would have untold consequences.
He nods his head.
Even if I doubt man's ability to discern fate with any semblance of accuracy, I recognize that it still exists.
If I'm not mistaken, you may have found some from the same cult that seeks the same aim.
I believe you refer to this reclaimed talisman. Hero pulls out the spell component for summon construct.
Mm-hmm. You'd be right.
We heard a small amount about them from the High Dwarves. It is my hope that by reclaiming this talisman of theirs and giving it new purpose, some of that vile stain can be removed from it.
I hope she'll eventually understand that we don't need to thunder the way the world is to make it better.
I think if she, and he will gesture broadly to the group of people here that all, whether working together or relaxing after the hard work they've done, enjoying themselves together. And he will say, if she could see what you've created here, I hope that she would change her mind and realize that people can be happy as things are.
Go ahead.
No, and then he trails off because he realizes that it could be very difficult to change the mind of someone like that.
Adradon goes up to Izar and gathers some of the food, taking it out from one of the prepared areas and giving a bit to each of the members of the party. My guess is she already has. She's probably been here many times, but I think she's stubborn. And following that up, he goes over and hands a small piece of candied meat as he leans down next to Master Rat.
Master Rat.
Well, sorry. Down next to Knack and says, "And I hope you've traveled well as well, Master Rat. Has everything been to your liking?"
Rat kind of tilts his head back and forth a little bit and nods.
Dwarves make decision against logic. Frustrate.
He gestures his head side to side a bit, just kind of mostly agreeing, and just pride can be a dangerous thing.
Is common issue of men.
He puts his hand slightly on your shoulder and taps it. Yep. Before standing up and finishing distributing some of the rest of the food to the group, including a little bit to Golden.
Who?
To friend.
He would refuse and offer his portion to the rest of the party.
Thanks.
Thank you for the hospitality.
If there's anything else I can do for you, please just let me know, but try to rest up a bit. The festival's in 2 days, and it's probably going to be exciting.
I have a project that I need to complete before the Querax start, but I will be sure to keep that in mind.
Does anybody else have anything they want to do before we skip forward a bit to the festival?
I think I just want to talk to people and get gossip. I want to know what
Yeah.
people have been talking about, people have been doing since I've been gone.
Sure. Some of the more... I'll give you some very generic gossip, and then if you give me like a series of persuasions, I'll tell you a bit more about each of them. So actually do that
Okay.
first.
Sure. Let me make
That
sure
way
I'm
I
grabbing
can
the
just
right
tell you
character
at
sheet.
once.
How many would you like?
3.
1.
1 for nearby, or I guess recent.
Oh no.
2 for a little
Actually, that's
more
not bad.
distant, and 3 for long term.
Nice. I'm
Most-
chatting.
Yeah, most recently, a lot of the stuff that's being talked about is how there's been a lot more trade going on up with the kingdoms and empire than there used to be. There's a ton of stuff that's been coming in this past like month and a half or so. There's a lot of supplies, a lot of tools, a lot of hunting dogs, a lot of just a lot more trade. The city's being a lot less self-sufficient than it used to be, with people remarking on that in multiple different ways. Some people, like some of the local alchemists, are not too happy that pretty much most of the potion work now has to be taken through the artists because they're doing most of it. And it's just difficult to get any independent work done through it. Or like a lot of the recently brought in dogs from the far northern parts of the empire, or from like the Volstrom territories, ends up outperforming a lot of local breeds now that there's been a lot of like more refined isn't the right word, but it's the word I'm going to use, breeds having come through.
Like specialized or something?
Yeah, that's probably the right
Okay.
word. More specialized breeds.
Interesting.
Hunting dogs that are better for, waterfowl, as opposed to a lot of the ones that were brought over originally being more generic.
Right. Like, this is a dog for hunting versus, like, this is my dog and they hunt.
Right. You got it. In a little bit more of a, like, moderate to mid-long term conversation, there's a little bit of worry out and about because the entire idea of the city was to figure out what's up with the spell plague, and really no progress is happening from basically anyone. People are feeling disgruntled at times from the idea that none of the guild leaders are really doing anything about it, or at least not communicating any changes about it, and so there's a bit of a sour sentiment.
I concur with that sour sentiment because I feel the same way.
In a rather long form context, some of the interesting things is that just a few weeks after you guys left, there was apparently a big hunt that went on, where they went out and they finally actually caught up with that golden boar that was out in the out to the west of the city, and it's got a wonderful new kind of becoming a symbol of the integrationists, since they were the ones that caught it with a golden pelt, being like one of the things that they're putting on a lot of their symbols lately. And that's
Good for
about
them.
that's a lot of the rumors.
Yeah, very cool.
Anybody else?
I'm good.
Hero A, Rat, Tepford?
Until the festivities, Rat's really just focusing on his work.
Makes sense. Then it sounds like it's time to go to the festivities. Right?
Yeah.
Alright. The party gets 2 days of good sleep. They get a few other activities done in the way, like the whatever crafting actions they take during the previous session, or studying or whatnot. Maybe going around getting a few preparations for trade goods and such, but the day of the Wishnest festival arrives. It is a big, exciting day. There is a lot more people on here than shown. I would describe it as being very difficult terrain. Probably the fastest you could go through it is probably at like 10 feet a turn if you're sprinting. It is.
Pushed underfoot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But have you considered the ability to scurry in between legs like a little gremlin?
Yeah, I think the two of you are able to do it. But even then, you'd probably only be able to, like, if you're dashing, Stafford, you're probably able to go, like, 30 feet in a turn.
Okay.
Because there's also still a lot of people who are short as well. And there's a
Yeah,
lot
that's
of
true.
legs, like, just period.
Rushed underfoot.
Yeah. Sure, you can weave between them, but you also have to be careful, because if you fail, it's a lot more of a consequence than bumping shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah. Okay, but all right. So that makes sense for Tefford. Rat could totally jump on people's heads.
He would just people would very much dislike that, and he wouldn't draw that much to himself.
True.
But-
Yeah. It depends on how fast we need to move.
There's
True.
a lot of music, there's good food preparation. The smell of alcohol and sweets is very well in the air. One of the things you see a lot of people having is a lot of people are carrying around very small, very painted, at the moment, you'll figure out this is different later, they look just like painted eggs. One of
Shit,
the
they're loaded.
One of the things that to Tefford is particularly interesting is that there are a series of sweets that are in different forms of decorations, including one that is a funnel cake that looks like a nest, which is particularly drawing your eye.
I'm buying 2.
Excellent. It's 4 copper each. And they
4 copper
taste
each.
great.
Thank you. Fantastic. I'm splitting one with the rest of the party.
Oh, I would buy one myself. That sounds very fun.
Yeah, it tastes super sweet. It's very good. It's got
Worth it.
there's 2 sorts of parts to that meal if you're getting like the full package, because one part is the interwoven dough of the nest, and then there's another one that's a small sweet-filled, like almost Cinnabon sort of situation of like a small
Frosting?
egg that's in the middle. Like a
Like
like a donut hole that's got filling in it.
Okay.
It's like an egg. It's got like this icing inside it, and that like goes in the center of it.
very cool.
It's very sweet, and it's very cute. You would be getting that up here from Izar. So anybody who was buying that should probably go up there.
I can't move my token, but
There we go. I was wondering why you guys weren't moving earlier, and it's because I was stupid.
haha!
Yeah.
What a cool little
I'll
place.
run you
All
by
these
a
people.
few things that are going on. There's a lot of food being produced here. You're able to see a lot of the supplies that you've recently brought up to the area. Here, in the top left, there is a small selection of drinks that are perpetually being refilled from the gate behind one of the porcelain guards. To the top... Go ahead.
I'm going to choose to believe that this separate stool is in fact a high chair and will be claiming it.
Very stylish.
So true.
The top right has a few rows of more long-term commercial goals with a series of shops and trinkets and little, essentially just gimmick. There's like themed dresses, themed silks, themed hats, you know, typical commercialism of a big time event.
Is everything marked up?
I mean, it's only a little bit more expensive than a normal kind of like high quality dress would be, but it's still a high quality dress price
Right.
because it is actually like woven. It does look pretty good, and it like I'm saying a lot.
I am window shopping. I'm saving up for something, but it looks really cool. How exciting!
In the bottom left, there's a pretty much non-stop proliferation of people learning how to dance to a very specific song about the Wishnest Finch. About, like... Damn it. about surviving through the Dark Sun nights and coming out the other side stronger. It's a little generic, but it's cute and it's a simple dance that any of you could probably pick up in about 10 or 15 minutes. In the bottom right is a series of carnival games, such as very traditional ones, such as like throwing. Damn it! It's real
Ring
bad
toss.
for me tonight. Just saying
It's all
like
good.
all over.
I will tell you, I have not noticed you saying it at all.
Well, I've noticed me saying it like 14 times.
All good. Keep going.
What, 14 times?
Ah! Stuff like ring toss is a pretty traditional one, but then there's also ones that might be more towards Rat's liking if he was trying to do something, because there's those like those balance nets where you climb up it trying to get to the top.
Oh, all of the.
And Rat probably thinks to himself that that would be one that he'd be more suitable to because he's tiny. To the far right, there is essentially a carousel with a few mages running a sustained ritual of Tensor's floating discs, where they've modified it slightly so that it can move around some, and it moves slowly up into the air until it's about 100 feet in the air as they rotate around a pedestal that the mages are at. It seems free. Finally, at the very bottom is a small garden being tended to by some of the naturalists, with a bunch of people having paintbrushes there, painting on some of those eggs before burying them in the garden. There's probably something going on about that.
JC, question.
Mm-hmm.
You said that with the upper right stuff, aside from like clothes and such, there were other trinkets and gewgaws being sold,
Yep.
right? Hero is going to see if he can find anyone selling a deck of the Kingdom's Arcana.
Probably pretty easily. Do you mind if they're not a traditional aesthetic with their design? Because they're all bird themed.
You know what? That's fine.
Alright. If you want to go ahead and pay 2 silver for a bird themed Arcana, you may.
It is done.
Excellent.
After that, he's gonna wander off to the carnival games, seeing a familiar face that direction.
Let's see. Who doesn't have something that they're immediately interested in right now?
Immediately, me.
Okay. Anybody else?
Rat is watching people fall on the rope game for now.
Gotcha. Friend,
Teford
I would
is
like
all
you to
in
give
on the
me-
food.
I would like you to give me a perception, friend.
I gotta open my sheet. 1 second.
So true. I agree with that. Ah, shoot. That probably means that these are all level 3 or lower characters right now, too, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. You were saying something, Tefford?
I'm all in on the food over here.
What?
Good roll.
There's a lot of good food there, not just sweet. There's a bunch of different meat and good drink as well. There's a good vegetable stew that's being worked on that gets served a little bit after you wait. The only thing that doesn't really seem to be on the menu is any kind of poultry.
Can't eat bird on the bird day.
Mm-hmm.
That would just be rude.
That would just be rude.
And if you're not a coward.
Well, it's still rude.
Shit, you're right.
Vote. How dare you?
Tefford is going to be sampling as much as possible. He's just going to put 2 silver on the table and say, "Let me know when I run out of that."
You get through a good chunk of the night before that happens.
hmm
You're having a good conversation. Tefford. Actually, we'll come back to that.
Cool.
Kaio,
Yes.
there are quite a few other pieces over there that seem to potentially catch some of your notice, considering you are a man of refined taste. As you're like heading back over to the dance area, there's a selection of jewelry that seems rather nice, with a
Bleeding.
bit of it being a
My
bit
mic isn't even
underpriced.
Interesting. I'm trying to be a good person during this visit in the city. What kind of prices are we looking at here? For like earrings or something?
It would be premium quality trade goods that you'd be able to buy at 90%, and just not, like, selling them until you next come back to the city.
Yeah, what does that cost in actual money? I'm sorry, I don't know the costs.
Premium trade goods are 1 gold per encumbrance, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check.
I think they were 5?
5 gold per encumbrance, yes.
Yeah, and there's 5 total encumbrance.
No,
I might have
3
to talk
gold.
to the-
There are 3 gold per
3 gold per.
encumbrance.
This might be an investment this might be an investment opportunity. I might have to talk to the party about doing that. By which I mean, I don't know who usually holds the money in this party in the narrative.
Yeah, if
Who's
you
in
want to
charge of
spend
gold?
up to 13.5 gold to get a potential return in the future.
Are we down for that? Do we have the money for it?
Rat organizes the gold, but it's generally in a centralized storage.
Well, that's what I mean. Is are we down for that?
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
we've got enough money for now.
I am going to make this person very happy by removing their stock.
Real.
Buyout.
Tefford,
Yeah.
while you're out eating,
Mhm.
a rather drunken-seeming tiefling wanders up to you and sits on the bench next to you, ordering quite a lot of food as well. You introduce each other, you talk a bit, and she's just got this wonderful aura and just seems very much like a friend. It's great.
Fantastic. I love friends.
It's fantastic. After
This
a little
doesn't
bit,
remind me
she
of Nothing. Keep going.
after a little bit, she looks at you again and she's like, "Wait a second, you're that Tefford, aren't you? I met up with you once when you came through to the artist last time."
Did you? I'm sorry. I don't remember your name. Or,
No worries, no worries. She reaches out and shakes your hand. Name's Carve.
Carve, you said?
Yep.
Like we're gonna do to this ham?
She laughs big and tears into it with you.
Oh,
It seems fun. It's
Mhm.
strangely warming and pleasant. Like
fantastic.
you've known each other longer than you probably have.
Yeah, it's the spirit of the festival.
Yeah, very true.
You are being charmed. No.
It's almost as if he probably knows that. Kyle,
Yes.
actually, let's go to friend. Friend, you're kind of just passively hanging out down there. You're able to watch as people pay 2 copper to get a small wooden egg that is painted white, and then they decorated it in a bunch of different designs using a yellow, blue, and red paint before going and burying it in the in that garden. There's one part that doesn't quite make sense to you, given some of your... Actually, let me rewrite this. Have you finished your education on learning how to write? Friend?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Has friend finished learning how to write?
Bleeding.
He hasn't even started.
Okay. Then
I
yeah.
have my mic off.
Then yeah, that's what you notice about what's going on over here.
Over where?
In the garden area that you're at.
Aside from the egg burying?
Well, I'm talking about the egg bearing.
Okay.
Kaio, I assume you're trying to learn the dance?
I am. I'm
Do it.
excited. Like I said, I'm so excited for the social excursion.
Give me 2 performances.
Oh boy. Is this something I can guide myself on or no?
Totally.
Oh, fantastic.
You can guidance yourself on life or death situations. Learning a dance? No.
Heyo.
Alright. You start off picking it up very well, and with the second one. And you master it by the end of the night.
What a
You
good day.
are- You end up being so good that they invite you to stay here even after you try to move away a bit to help teach some of the other people.
I am more than happy to help. I mean, networking is something I've been wanting to do in the city for a while, and this is a great way of doing it.
You learn during a little bit of that conversation, the woman on the left, who's one of the 2 lead dancers, is the guild leader for the artists.
Oh. Well, what a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
You technically met her once a few years ago, or like a year and a half ago, but neither of you remember, so you both treat it as a new time.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Right?
Rat.
Okay. Yeah. You're...
I was just waiting for you to say what was happening.
Most
So
of,
I guess
a lot of the
uh-huh.
other times people say yep or something. You've been watching a bunch of dumb, stupid idiots not understanding how basic physics works as they repeatedly do stupid things trying to climb up the rope net. It's starting to get both extremely aggravating from their stupidity and also extremely humorous from the fact that you know that they're being stupid about it.
Incredible. Quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Where is the field of physics in universe?
I would I'm using the word physics as just, you know, the understanding of, hey, dumbass, if you stand on the left side, it's going to spin around.
Sure.
In general, the idea of forces is pretty well understood. Beyond that, like, it's kind of just basic chemistry and fundamental physical forces.
Okay. Time to Isaac Newton this bitch.
So true.
But anyway.
Would you like
He
to
is-
give me... Sorry, go ahead.
No, say.
I jumped ahead
Stop.
when I heard what you said.
No, because this might influence whether or not I even want to continue what I was doing. What were you going to say?
I was going to
Yeah.
ask you for a roll because I was assuming what you were doing when you started to say it, which is why I'm, like, stopping.
Sure, I will, he will take a couple steps forward and step into line. He wants to verify that his understanding of it is correct and there's not a hidden mechanism behind it,
Okay.
because he wants to be justified in his condescension and not,
Give me an insight.
oh no. But that's people.
Give me an insight with int.
I just got thrown off by the Pathfinder character sheets, and I clicked not the first tab because the proficiencies are like 8 in
True.
on the Pathfinder
Yep.
character sheet. Insight. That's actually just a raw int because I have no proficiency, so I'm just gonna roll an int. True!
Hey, that's good progress.
Hell yeah.
Rat gets a little inspired. He gets so sidetracked by the idea of investigating it that he's like, huh, I wonder what would happen if I shoot a net with my gun.
He's probably looking at the mechanism and thinking about the rotational force relative to, oh, wait a minute, that could probably have some effect on if I use it as a mechanism physically in a weapon, and completely doesn't even think about the game itself.
Bro gets zero track mind, but you have an inspiration point now. Another one, so. Yippee.
Yeah. Well, he's gonna try it anyways. He's waiting in line now.
You go by a
Or
little
rather-
bit more. It's 3 copper to do an attempt.
He kind of shuffles through his pocket and produces 3 copper. That is the only type of currency he has. He had
That is
6
a good
copper
point.
because he likes the copper for its properties.
Lucky you. Go ahead and give me 2 acrobatics with int.
That would just be raw ints because no proficiency. 1,
Good start.
2.
You clamber up the first 2/3 of it. Feeling
hold
very...
on.
Oh,
Hold on.
okay.
Hold on. 13. No. Hold on.
Genius, maybe?
Yeah, hold on. Shush. +5. So 18.
You scamper up the first 2/3 of it and feeling super smug about it as you're making sure to both abuse the fact that you're tiny and low weight with the fact that you're able to maneuver on it very well. And as you start to get to the top, when it gets thinner and thinner, it starts to become very unstable, and you almost fall off, and you swish your tail around and pull on another side of it to give you just enough leverage to rebalance as you scamper up the last little bit and claim the small token from the top and run your way down back to the person to give it to them, earning yourself a cute little reward. There's a few little options. You know the general idea for the types of things they have there. One of them's, unless there's one that you want functionally for some reason, you'd probably be most interested in one that's a tiny little plushie of a dragon.
Sure.
If that's not character assassination in some way.
Nope, it's vaguely interesting to him.
Yeah.
He probably will lose interest in it, but he's disinterested in most rewards. His real reward was proving himself right.
This is very true. You're probably only the second or third person to do it, considering that you can see how many of the rewards still remain unclaimed in your decent way into the festival. As you return to the rest of them, you see Hiroe leaving the ring toss.
I see you triumphed.
He nods, and in Draconic, naturally.
Naturally, yes.
Ultimately, it's a very simple mechanic behind it. I imagine it's the same thing with your ring toss. How did you do?
I'm satisfied with the outcome.
Perfect.
He does take this opportunity to hitch a ride.
I'd like any of the party members to self-advocate for a bit and let me know what direction they'd like to be pursuing.
Well, sorry, I'm just hopping in. The dancing is fun. I'm enjoying teaching people, but I will excuse myself eventually because there's so much more to see. But I'd like to thank the leader of the artists. What was her name, by the way?
Hanley, I believe? Yeah,
How do I
Hanley.
spell it? Hanley. Hello. Well, I thank Hanley for her time, and I will excuse myself to see what the rest of the festival has to offer now. I believe you said earlier that the artists were largely responsible for organizing and working on this festival.
Mm-hmm. That
I will tell
is
her
the primary thing, but there's a little bit from everybody. There's a lot of
Still,
integrationists managing a lot of the commercial stuff with trade. There's a lot of naturalists handling the food in the garden area. There's developmentalists handling some of the more technical side of things, as well as a significant amount of the security. The only group that's really not participating much formally is the Family of Unity, but they still have a lot of members here who are just out and about participating in it.
Well, I would like to thank her for helping to put on such a wonderful show, and just again sort of point out that people are really seeming to enjoy themselves, which it's just nice to see.
Right?
He's not going to elaborate on that, but he's very pleased. And then he's gonna run off and I think there's like books here, which I think is kind of interesting. He hasn't seen anything like that in such a long time. He's been out in the wilds. He's been craving civilization, but that's about it. It's just-
Most of them are like super duper depressingly sad poetry.
Oh no, he opens one book, takes a look, slowly closes it, pushes it away
It's-
from himself
it's
on the
like
table, shakes
you
his
are
head.
so engorged in like the 1 minute you're reading it.
What? You mean engrossed, right?
Yes, I do. Sorry. You
Okay.
are.
No, I've been drinking a lot of water.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know what happens when you drink a lot of water.
You piss a lot.
You
of
are so engrossed as you're reading that like
Mm-hmm.
first minute, as it's just a wonderful story, you know. Mama bird and baby bird, and then mama bird dies, and you're like, you know what? Maybe this isn't for me right now.
Yeah, this is kind of crushing the spirits. Close it, put it down, push it away. Look for something else to do that's not quite so depressing. And I'm trying to see if this is somebody here that wrote that. I'm looking for the most depressed person in the room.
A lot of it seems formal. They're like parts of series of sets of like essentially just Wishnest Finch stories.
Oh no, never mind.
So it's
That's
basically, it's like getting flashbanged with the fucking matchstick girl.
yeah, that's not great. I don't love that to
yeah.
happen to
Bambi
me. Oh
jump
well,
scare.
help! Oh man. But yeah, I wander off and look for something fun to see, and just kind of people watch, honestly.
You probably hear the minor raucous that's happening up at the bar and food area, including the now well familiar voice of Tefred being one of them.
Oh. What's all this raucous?
Since the party's already on catch for it, Kaya, would you mind making me a wisdom save?
I'm bad at this.
Hey,
But not
good
that
enough.
bad. What the
Yeah.
heck?
You can definitely still feel a lot of the warmth and a lot of the friendship. It's a little bit of a similar feeling to that of the family you had back in
Right.
yeah, damn. I had it in my head and I was just like, how the hell do I say it?
I know it doesn't really sound the way that it looks, I think.
That's D&D in general.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're able to pick up on the fact that it seems like it's not being malicious, but just that there's a general sense of friendliness coming from her that feels very sincere,
Oh wow.
even if it is magical, which is a slightly strange sensation for you know, magic that's
Yeah.
not being self-centered. Huh?
I don't want to talk about that.
And she goes out of her way to
It's
buy
just
you a bit
AoE
of
Molly.
drinking food.
Question, how does my friend here seem?
He seems like he's having a hell of a time.
Too much of a hell of a time, or the normal amount of a hell of a time?
To you?
Yeah. Based on the fact that I know that this person is doing magical compulsion on accident. Or incidentally rather than maliciously.
I think he seems like it's not like he's, you know, getting drunk or wasted.
Okay. I will enjoy. I'll join him in the festivities. I am cautious around this person, but I mean, they are so enchanting.
Yeah, you can continue for a while interacting with them for a bit, having a good time, smiling, laughing.
This is Carve. She's one of the artists. I think we met her like back when we visited them a little bit ago. Was it the artist or the unity party of Unity that Kaio got the spell from?
The Family of Unity is where I got Feinstein from.
Thank you.
Yep, that's Carve.
Carve, yes.
Yeah.
Carve like a turkey or carve like a boat?
Carve like a verb.
Oh.
Yeah.
I myself find her enchanting. Like me, the player. What a fun name! Anyway.
Right. She, eventually, after buying a few more, just wipes her brow, shakes each of your hands again, and then goes, "Oh, and she pulls out a small gift and hands it to probably Kaio, since Kaio is the one that got here more recently. This is for the two of you. I think you've already had some other parts of it. I've really enjoyed getting to know you some more, and I hope we get to meet up again sometime."
Thank you. Likewise.
She moves behind Tefford and disappears into the crowd.
She was lovely.
Scooch over to where Tefford is in his high chair and look at the gift. Is it in a box?
Sure, give me just a moment. It is in a small box, but you can open it rather easily. Actually, it's probably in a in a little egg.
Oh.
Yeah.
There you go. It is now in your inventory.
What a cute little gift. Oh, I keep opening the wrong carriage sheet. Let me see it.
It is the fourth item in loot.
Well, how cute. I show Tefford. She said we had part of this. It seems sort of familiar, but what do you think this is?
What is it? I'm trying to get a close look at it.
If you click the, actually, I guess the down arrow doesn't do it.
It says unidentified loot.
Yeah, hold on. Let me.
I just identified it. Was I allowed to identify this?
No.
I will unidentify it.
There you go.
It's
it
a
does
pizza.
look familiar.
It's a pizza.
It kind of looks like something Heroaway has.
It's a block of cheese that Rat took a bite out of.
It's a block of cheese.
It's a
Rat took-
calzone, not a pizza.
Living up to your name, huh?
No. That's Red Chain Chomp, the next Mario Party character.
Ooh.
I love Chain Chomp.
It's the Eye of Cthulhu if it was orange.
Yeah.
This is a weird question. What's the texture like when I rub my thumb over it?
Mostly smooth. Most of it is a rather smooth disc that you rub your thumb over, and it's got a bit of texture that, like, spirally snake part almost. And, like, the right side has some corrugation to it. It generally has a bit of texture. But the far left part that's missing a lot of the chunks is a very, very clean, very sharp edge. It's not like it's worn away.
Does it feel like metal or ceramic?
Some mix
What
of
the hell is
both.
that? Oh, interesting.
Yeah. It's not cold like metal would be in this circumstance, but it doesn't feel like it would be brittle like ceramic would.
Well, certainly interesting. I wonder what she was talking about. By the way, did you notice that you were being magically compelled?
Was I?
I kind of narrow my eyes, kind of look away, look back. I know I nearly was. I don't
I
think she
didn't
was.
feel like that was happening. She seemed very nice.
Yeah, she was, but well, Carve. I'll have to keep an eye out for her again when we find out what this is. Still, what a nice lady.
It looks like that. It looks kind of like the moon medallion Heroaway has.
It does.
Kinda.
I look over the throng of people. Do I see Hiraway, or is there's so much activity?
There
I
are
would
a lot of people there. If you're
Mhm.
looking only for like 5 seconds, probably not. But if you're looking for like 20 or 30, you probably eventually make out Rat over some of the shoulders of people, and eventually are able to then deduce that Hiraway is probably underneath that.
Yeah.
It looks like it would take some doing to get over there. Do you think it's worth trying to show him, or should we wait until later?
I don't recall him being particularly happy about that item, so maybe we should wait till a little bit later.
Oh. Right, better not to ruin the mood. And I guess with that said, I will join him in drinking and eating, unless he wants to do something else.
Tefford is going to continue drinking and eating until later into the night.
It is very yummy.
Yeah.
Rat, Hiraway, friend. What do the three of you get up to?
I was actually going to say that Hero is going to try and find a friend specifically.
Interesting.
Rat is writing, so necessarily.
It takes a few minutes,
Yeah.
but you eventually find him over there waiting, just kind of observing all of the people repeatedly taking those small eggs, performing a few activities to them, and then burying them.
How are you enjoying the festivities?
He nods. As well as I can.
For my part, I intend to soon find a quiet corner and both observe and wait for the others to be done for the night. I just wanted to check in and see if you were doing alright, and if there's nothing in particular, I believe I will retire to that corner.
He nods.
I don't suppose you're opposed to that, are you, Rat?
Place is moving many, too many.
I'll take that as a yes.
As you start to leave and head out, some of the last things that end up happening in this area, at least for the two of you, is that you pick up on a lot of people yelling about various forms of advertisements trying to sell some of those small white eggs with lines such as, "Make a wish that'll last the year, just 2 copper," right? Stuff like that. General, not proselytizing is not the right word, but like advertisement.
I get where you're going with.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Markers.
hawking their wares.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you got it. Is Hero even interested in figuring out what that's about?
He knows the general vague idea, and at the moment he's not particularly interested in paying per wish.
Bum, 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 bum.
Listen, why would he pay 2 copper for a wish when he can
No,
go?
fuck it. Rat kind of pulls him and says,
Wish?
he kind of turns his head.
All right, fine.
What is?
You go
Oh,
over there, and if you don't know the entire thing, there's plenty of people willing to tell you.
From what I understand, these birds at the festival are about symbolize people's wants and hopes for the future, because the old generation, something about the old generation not being around to witness the birth of the new, and something about them hatching around the time of the Querax, and that not being good for their survival rate.
So why wish?
I guess, because they hope that maybe fate will be slightly kinder to them.
So not magic wish.
No, no. That kind of magic is cataclysmic.
You
Elder top
probably
wish. Dragon wish.
you can probably watch for a moment as this is going on, as you're able to see specifically that people take they pay for some of those small white wooden eggs that they can twist apart and open up because they're hollow on the inside.
Like
And-
a Christmas cracker?
A little bit. I'd say more like I think it was Nutty Putty that had little eggs that had
Silly
Silly
Putty.
Putty.
Silly Putty. That's the one. Like,
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Nutty Putty is a cave.
Dang.
What?
Hey, you
No,
don't know
Nutty
about
Putty is the name of my new miniature golf course.
True.
I
Either
was thinking
way.
of
Nutty
Nutty
Putty is
Putty.
also a cave that has claimed the lives of many cave divers.
Hmm?
It is a small white painted wooden egg that comes apart rather easily, as it's two parts that just form fit together with a slight bit of pressure to like actually stick together. A bunch of different people write down a few wishes for their future self, which they put inside it before decorating their egg in a way that tries to be unique to themselves before burying it in the garden. One of the first events of the festival that you guys were just a bit too late to get here for is that a large part of the garden gets uprooted and everybody sorts through all of the decorations of the eggs from the previous festival trying to find theirs as a little bit of a time capsule to see how you've compared to this time, what you cared about this time last year.
Okay. You know what? We can drop a couple of copper on this.
Why?
Oh, my apologies. I thought you were interested.
Am interest, not say why, no why, but why?
I don't know exactly. Maybe it's what the festival is about, but it has me considering my past and my future.
Rat kind of nods.
Tradition good if bring comfort people. No value itself, but value in happy bring.
Right.
Rat kind of shrugs.
2 copper.
Yes.
He also brings up that he used 3 copper earlier that he'd like to be reimbursed.
Oh. Here, I'll break the silver, and you can have the copper left over.
He nods.
Each
One of
you
these
get-
days,
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just making a joke about one of these days Rat will understand and make a copper wire and the world will end.
You see, the
We
secret
must
is just...
lobotomize him.
Go ahead.
We must lobotomize him.
True.
The secret of the universe is just learning that all electricity is turning spinny here into spinny there.
True.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Hiroi is going to pay for. He's going to produce a silver and ask for 2 eggs specifically.
They give you the proper rebate, and you get 2 small white eggs, 2 small strips of paper, and a and some small paintbrushes that are expected to be returned.
Hmm. Alright.
There's only the three colors, one being like a rather pure blue, one being a pure yellow, and one being a good red. But a lot of people take to mixing them very carefully, and so there's a bunch of mixes on the table between them. You can choose to decorate your egg however you'd like, and paint your wish in whichever colors you'd like.
Rat decorates the egg in his general color palette. What is it called when a color fades into another color?
Ombre?
Gradient?
What? I heard neither of you because you said it at the same time. Gradient. The gradient of his head to his neck of that color, and then two little like horns in the shape of his horns on either end of it.
Maybe two little red dashes on the tip of it.
Two red dashes on like the tip of the front.
Mm-hmm.
That's cute.
In between the two horns.
Very cute.
Hero is going to paint his mostly kind of more blue than purple, and paint kind of yellowish orange patches on it, like essentially like lanterns silhouetted against the night sky.
I can see that. Do either of you want to disclose your wish?
Hero will
I'm still
follow
thinking
Rat's
about it.
lead.
Rat will write his, obviously Draconic, but will write his on the slip of paper. It's just one word.
Lisa. Hero's wish is also one word.
Simple as best.
His word is inspiration.
Base.
There's a bunch of room in the garden still, but there's also a lot of areas where it's already buried. So you try to find somewhere that's suitable, and Rat has a very easy time burying his.
I'm a professional.
He's a professional digger.
That was fun.
He kind of bounces his head back and forth.
Enough. If not true come, then not true. But not need wish for come true what want.
Indeed. Indeed.
As Hiroi walks off, I assume you probably say goodbye to friend, and you're able to watch as Kaio and Tefert are having a jolly good time in their conversation. There's also, of course, all of the various NPCs out and about, as most of the characters on the screen are, I won't call it important, but at least mostly known or previously met characters.
Do I recognize? Is this guy next to me the guy who owns the library?
You're very close. The guy across from you over here is the guy from Bastion who, from Bartiza, who owns the library that you
Gotcha.
went to. The guy immediately next to you is the guy who owns what is the house in the city that you visited. The one that did some of the repairs / maintenance on Friend.
Oh shit!
Yeah, the guy on the far left, on the opposite, who's having the conversation with him, is the guy from Bartiza that you met in the first few sessions learning about the Athwensi dwarves.
Yeah. Fantastic. I'm going to...
You see what happens when we socialize. Look at all these people we're meeting.
Yeah, all these people that no one has
you've
really
met.
chosen to interact with.
I'm gonna prop myself up and say, this is quite a pair of people.
Ah. Cadron on the left looks to the each of you. Ah, so you know each other as well. Wonderful. Was it Herod?
Tefrid.
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 My
Very close.
apologies.
Very close.
Oh no, close enough. Listen, it's been a little while. It's been too long, actually, since I've been able to swing by.
Were you the one about the dwarves or the one about the lizards?
If I don't think I inquired about lizards. So dwarves.
How goes it? Any interesting discoveries?
Kinda working on it still. Nothing concrete yet. Trade culture, definitely.
He makes some simple socialization that I, as a GM, are not capable of doing at this time.
Yeah, that's fair.
He's a sociable, charismatic old man.
Mm-hmm. And Hefford is happily obliging and partaking in that. Eventually he will go to make his own egg, but not right now.
Kaio is able to observe from a rather limited interaction that while Mr. Millenny is smiling and trying to put up an appearance of being a good person and like having a good time, you can tell even without having to roll an insight, just with basically your passive insight, given, you know, being you, that he is kind of miserable right now.
Would I be able to ascertain if he would like support in that?
That would be one you could roll for.
Okay, I will do so. Insight, nuance, social prowess. No, can't tell.
That's up to you.
Okay, I will make the choice to look around at the crowd. It is quite a lot, and just under my breath, kind of say, "It's quite a lot, isn't it?"
He keeps up a rather cheery attitude. He's the best that way.
Yeah.
Any
These times help us to celebrate when things are darker. It's a way of recuperating.
I'm just glad to be out and about and seeing all of these wonderful festivities. This might be my last one, so I'm trying to take it in.
I immediately frown and say, "I'm sorry to hear that," or you... And I think for a moment of what I would like to say, and instead of saying sick, which is what I want to say, I will instead say, leaving the city?
He laughs a little bit, and actually, you don't have to navigate around it. I'm old. You can feel it eventually.
I'm very sorry to hear that, but I'm glad we were able to join for this. It's been quite a celebration so far.
My son used to love it. It was... He and I would always go through and ride up the carousel, and his wishes were always so much more creative than mine.
I've been eyeing that. I'm not sure what to write. Did you bury one this year?
Not much of a point for me. But I
Well-
suppose he gets and stretches out from the stool. I guess
I will go with him.
we might as well. He pays for you and himself.
What a nice guy. As we're walking, I will say, a wish doesn't have to be for you, it can be for the future for others, so think of this as your permanence.
I have but one question for you, Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
Are you willing to be opportunistic here? Is that the kind of thing that you, as both a player and as a character, would attempt to do?
It really depends. So this is the interesting thing, right? We've been traveling as a party for such a long time, and I've mentioned before that Kaio himself is kind of like, I haven't given these people any reason to trust me. All I've given them is the worst of me. So he's actively making efforts to be a good person, although he is consoling this dying man, and that puts him in an advantageous position. He is genuinely trying to be supportive.
Okay. Because you
I know
can
that's so rare
definitely
for
pick
him.
up on the idea that he's pretty emotionally vulnerable right now for some other reason beyond what he's recently talked about.
Yeah, and I will ask, because, I want to be here. I want to help. This is something that he was kind of trained for when he was younger, of like, as a cleric in his community, you are a pillar of the community or someone that people rely on, even if the community itself is not the most loving. So, I will ask him, I guess we're painting together. I don't know what colors he's doing, but I'm doing blue and black, of course. A variety of junk? Oh,
No,
that's a shame thing.
this is to rat.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Sorry, what?
None of it seems useful. None of the knickknacks.
I see.
It sure, you can be like, ooh, that's pretty, that's shiny, but then the other part of your brain goes, yeah, but it seems stupid.
I see.
I can't make a bullet out of that. I can't enchant that.
This person looks sinister.
Is that true? They've kind of just been lurking around, looking at different things, and then moving on. Not really talking to anybody.
Fair enough.
Please continue, Kyle. My apologies.
No worries at all. So I'm painting my egg. I look over and ask him what he is wishing for, if he isn't afraid to share.
He thinks about it for a moment, and he tries to speak for a moment and just hands you his wish instead.
I look down to read it.
And
There's a sharp exhale as he reads it.
he
Or a sharp inhale.
takes it back, places it in the egg, and gently, simply paints it with a few simple rings around it.
If I may pry, and I'm just kind of holding my egg. I've stopped painting it for now because this seems like a serious conversation. What makes you think that might change? Do you think he's... and I clear my throat. Out there, susceptible to... And I trail off.
There's a lot of rumors going around. It's probably nothing, but it's also... Where your point, it shouldn't be about me.
No. If this is something important to you, I am being very tentative here because I do not want to make him uncomfortable or to make him shut down by being too prying. Does he seem comfortable with his line of questioning, or does it seem like I'm kind of pushing my luck?
He seems to warm up to you a lot. And
Oh, good.
I'll just skip past it some because I'm having a difficult time doing the RP for it, so I will describe it once again. I know this is one of my weaknesses, but it's acceptable. is you get to pick up on the idea that apparently in some of the upper circles, which is some of the rumors you weren't able to really get to previously since he's one of the elites of the city, is that apparently word is starting to get out that there's threats of undead invasion, which is something to keep in mind. There's a lot of that rumor going around, and that eventually after a little bit he makes some offhanded comment along the lines of, you know, he wasn't unlike you, which has its own range of healing emotions.
Being honest is so difficult. I will tell him plainly that myself and my friends have been afield and these rumors may have weight to them, but we are working in our way to keep things at bay and to fix them before that becomes an issue. It is difficult work, but we are making allies, making efforts, and I hope that I can help make his wish true even if the Finches can't.
He has a simple nod of recognition, and the two of you move forward, bury your eggs in the garden, and he follows a final line of questioning after a few moments of appropriate silence, at least between the two of you. What is this music? What is this bullshit? Why we got a techno beat? I specifically requested loop.
The festival's hyping up.
He asks if you were with Tefred.
Yes, we've been traveling together for more than a year at this point.
Well, if you ever need it, he knows where to find me. If there's anything I can do to help any of you in it, you're more than welcome to take use of my facilities.
Oh, well, thank you. That is a very generous offer.
He takes another silver and puts it in your hand. Thanks for wasting your time on an old man.
I smile, give a little laugh, and say, no waste at all. The festival's here to be enjoyed, and I want to make sure you're enjoying it. But if he seems like he is ready to go, then I will not hold him.
He's ready to go, and he wishes that you enjoy the rest of yours. He probably heads over and says goodbye to Kadron.
Ooh.
And then heads off back towards his house.
Well, well. There's a lot going on here, but I don't want to monopolize the whole thing.
Do Golden Rat or Heroe have any interest on going up the Ferris wheel?
Not
You mean the
particularly.
carousel, right?
I mean, Ferris wheel. I think.
Shit.
You said carousel at first, but it
Yeah.
makes more sense as a fair wheel considering it goes up 100 feet in the air.
Yeah, fair. I don't unless somebody else does.
I'm good.
But here's
Sorry.
here's not the height maxer. I will leave it entirely to the party to choose what else to pursue.
Tefred is going to go make his own egg.
Okay.
It is.
Do that.
What was that?
We can do that.
Yeah.
If you try hard enough and believe in yourself.
True.
Rat can.
Rat did. Would Rat be the kind of person who might do it twice just because?
He understands it's just for ceremony and there's no purpose for it, so probably not. To prove a point to someone, he would, but there's no point he needs to prove.
Somebody would say you can't do that. You can only do it once, and he'd be like,
I
"Watch
very,
me."
I very well can.
If you're willing to take 2 copper, Saffron,
Yep.
you get your own kit.
Fantastic. His egg will be painted red, blue, green, olive, and tan.
And here I was thinking you'd paint it like the Atwenti mask.
See, could, but different priorities right now.
True.
And then he will go find a place to bury it.
What is your? Would you mind sharing with me your wish that you put on the inside?
Mhm.
Yeah. If nobody else has anything else to do. The
I
festival's
want to talk
already
to everyone
started.
here, but I don't have time.
I mean, I also don't mind keeping it to about a 2-hour session, and just as long as everybody can do it next Thursday.
Yes, I should be able to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Does anybody have any
I
issues
can-
with next Thursday?
I sure
That's
Should be good.
Then in the absence of anybody else wanting anything here, the party
I
probably
have.
not. I'm not ending the session. Just in this scene.
Okay.
Can I make my own egg?
Sure. Is Hiroe still here?
Yes.
Okay.
He's probably off nearer to the Ferris wheel, just with people being on it and in line for it, he's not likely to be bothered while he's in the general vicinity.
Right. Does friend have money on his person?
I thought I'm making my own egg.
What do you
I would
mean?
pay for friend's egg.
Do I have to
like-
pay to bury it?
You pay to buy one of the little wooden eggs unless you're literally making a wooden like if you're druid crafting an egg or something like that from like your staff.
I would either do that or just like find something I can carve my own egg out of.
That probably works. You travel a little ways away. You probably left about 10 minutes ago to go into a nearby area and scavenge a bit before coming back to find it, and you've been carving in druidcraft, molding it into the shape of a small egg. And you have now returned. Would you like to paint it in any way, or would you like to leave some intricate carvings in it instead? And how would you like your wish to be set upon it?
The only thing he's going to do is paint one half of it green.
Makes sense. It's that's so you.
Do you want me to send you the wish?
As long as you have a way to actually put the wish either in or on it.
He would probably carve it on the side that he didn't paint.
Gotcha. Would that be in like which
Uh,
one?
I'm going to roll a d3. Okay, never mind. 4. d4. It's in primordial.
This is good. I like that. You find a good spot that seems more secluded from the rest, and with a little bit of simple mold earth, you make sure that it is rather securely placed and very well protected from being bumped into by any of the other people. Seems well set. At least for the 5 of you, the festival is starting to die down, but for everyone else, the festival is still full on active and there is plenty of time to go. You make your way out, you probably trickle over time until everyone has rejoined up at the end. It was a fun festival. It was good food, even if some of you didn't eat it. It was good drink, even if some of you didn't drink it. But all of you made wishes, and all of you have some good hope for the future. The Wishnest Finch may die every dark sun, but it always comes back. And there's a bit of beauty to that.
Friend, if I could have a moment.
He nods.
The context of this festival has me thinking quite a bit about the past and the future, and while I imagine the particulars of your past are lost to the ages, there's one thing that I can do to try and offer some insight into where you might have come from, who you once were, and who you could be in the future, if you would be at all interested.
He nods again.
Back in the kingdoms, we have a tradition of understanding the world around us in relation to the gods above and below, in the form of the arcana. Unlike certain divination magics, pretty much everybody agrees that the arcana holds some ability to discern the truth behind things. So, if it would be of any interest to you, I could give you a reading.
He takes a short while to think about it. Sure. Why not?
Alright then. Here, let's take this table over here for a moment. And Hiroi takes to shuffling the tarot deck that he retrieved from the festival.
I believe Kaio is studying this Bastion turn, right?
I think you are correct.
Okay, you're probably reading in, like, the bed that you're at, and you hear from, probably from another table, since it's probably not time for bed yet. And you're reading, and then you hear the shuffling of cards, and it immediately piques your interest.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
As you shuffle the cards, you can see his head twitch every time a card is shuffled, as if he's tracking every one that you shuffle.
I go over to watch. I'm nosy.
Hiroi lays the spread of 22 cards out directly in front of him. Go on, pick 3. Any 3. Just
For a while,
don't
he
look at
doesn't move. He kind of just stares at all of them individually.
Just don't look at the actual faces of them. Yet.
Character, how am I meant to pick these? Just like 1 out of 20 or 2 out of 20? Or...
Yeah, basically I'm just gonna roll a d22, a d21, and then a d20.
Gotcha.
Basically, once you select the 3, hero is going to flip them over in sequence, and that's when the dice will be rolled.
Okay, I wanted to stay for this, but I do have to drop.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I
sorry.
will. You should let me know how this goes in DMs once the session's over. BBQ. I'm interested.
Yeah, absolutely.
My bad on the scheduling issue. This won't happen again.
No worries.
Yep. Just keep in mind we are going to try to have it next week, so just plan around that.
He's gone.
Oh, shit.
He's going to first take the 4th one from the leftmost card.
Hero nods.
Then he's going to then take the 2nd from the rightmost card. And then finally he's going to take the first left card from the center.
Okay. If you'll set those face down directly in front of you.
And he does so.
First, we're going to take a short look at some of the circumstances that may have made you who you are. As Hero flips the past card over, there is an image of a woman holding an ewer that is also being held aloft by birds, and the ewer is streaming down into a mountain valley, creating a network of rivers. Temperance, the card of the water bearer. If I had to draw some connection, Temperance as an arcanum is linked to the idea of purity and of duality. Perhaps there was some motivation for your creation in bringing the world to a previous undespoiled state. Perhaps there were 2 contradictory motivations for your creation. That said, the idea of purity, both physical and ideological, is at the center of Temperance. I believe that whoever created you did so with good intent. As for the here and now, the High Priestess. God who represents the arcanum of the High Priestess is one who is lost to time. None remember her name, or even her domain. But in a way that is liberating, to have no past, but to have the trappings of power and station, the ability and the means, the space and the means to find yourself in this new world that you find yourself in. And to find a role, likely of great import, as one from a bygone age. And as for your future, finally,
So that's
Judgment.
actually... Yeah.
That is judgment.
Yep. Okay.
The god of the dead hears all petitioners in the plane between, sending them to the afterlife they deserve or to the afterlife of their chosen god. In much the same way, I believe that you stand at an important crossroads within the world, and that the decisions you make will have a great part to play in the future of this city, the future of this world in relation to the spell plague, and of course in your own life. And yet another instance of the Arcana not fucking lying,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah, one of the things I like is that judgment is also about awareness and awakening.
Mm. Do you have any questions about the fate that the gods and the Arcana have revealed?
You can tell he's still like trying to process everything. He finally just shakes his head. After looking over the three cards, he lifts his head back up to look at you. I might not remember my past now, but the Earth will never forget. And it is something that I intend to find, no matter how long it takes.
In which case, I believe you should hold on to this. Hero says as he hands the High Priestess to Friend. Find the true you. Find your place in this world. And find where your power and what you hold the authority to wield are needed. There's the imminent threat of Karzon, but I sincerely doubt that that is what you were awakened for. There are
We
greater
will see.
forces at play here than one lich.
He nods.
What does Kaio think of all this?
What does he think? Well, it's very interesting that you ask that because we just had this conversation with Aetrodon about how Kaio sort of feels that fate and destiny are overwhelming and very heavy-handed. He is aware that Hiroe was once a divination mage, but he thought that was behind him. So it's just very interesting to see him say this, and he can't help but wonder to himself if Hiroe might feel more comfortable when bound by fate than he would if he were truly free of it. I'm not sure how obvious that is on his face, but you can definitely tell that he's analyzing the whole situation. He is not a passive observer at this time.
Huh. I don't suppose you would also like your fortune read?
I have a very important question for you about the coins that are used in this setting.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have two faces or just one?
Most of the time, one.
Okay.
If they have any. A lot of the time, they don't.
So it would just be like a circle of metal?
Most of the time, it's like a double decal strike.
Here's what I'll do then.
Most,
I have to check.
Sorry. I won't get into the weeds.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's fine. Sure. Let's see what you've got. If I like it, I like it. And if not, well, I will see what I can do.
Alright, well. The deck is short a card as the High Priestess has found her new home. But let's see what I can do. Go on, pick 3.
So in this case... Oh.
Right. In your past, judgment. I need not repeat the particulars of the God of the Dead. But in your case, given that this is in your past, you were selected for a grand purpose by someone far, far above you, as the stars are above us. And in so doing, you were granted the authority to mete out their design.
I don't think it gets
Go
much
on.
higher than that.
As for your present, the Wheel of Fortune. The Fortune Maker endlessly the Fortune Maker endlessly observes from on high, rolling her dice, spinning her wheels, and seeing where the odds fall, nudging them in her favor to see the outcomes she desires come to fruition. In much the same way, you are one who is deeply opportunistic, someone who, on a surface level, is quite happy to take risks and gambles and bets. But, in truth, you are one who for lack of a better word, does not treat them as gambles. They are just a fact of life. It is how your life works, and so you are drawn to them. And for your future.
You will draw a card. I should have been saying.
Okay, so it would be 14.
So is that 14?
Yep, that would be death.
Oh,
The Lord
fantastic.
The Lord of Murder looks on from his bloody palace, sending out assassins across the land to bathe the land in yet more gore. In much the same way, I foresee that in the service to your goddess, you will bring great carnage to those around you, and yet potential change for for new growth. As gore slicked in the Murder Lord's wake is a sign of death, it will nourish the land that new life may grow.
I will tell you, this does not set me at ease. I think, after this reading, I still very much believe that fate is more of a weight than an assistant.
If it's any consolation, I doubt that it's your death that Lord of Murder foretells.
I look around to the group.
Here, take this, he says as he hands you the Wheel of Fortune.
I take it and look down at it. This one I'm more comfortable with.
Remember, do not be a slave to your nature, and also do not be a slave to avoiding your nature.
Thank you.
Tefford, I don't suppose you would like to get in on this as well?
Why not?
The Wheel of Fortune card that you have, Kyle, is 8 different hummingbirds, each one humming a different note in notation in a circle.
I'm thankful for the present, concerned about the future, although in truth it is something that I anticipated in any case.
Arcana stays winning.
It's very good.
They don't fucking lie. Alright, Tefford, we're down by 2 Arcana, but we can still put together a proper reading.
Alright. Am I rolling precisely again?
1d20.
Alright. Oh, that would have been a DM roll. That still was one.
Alright, Jesse, what was the result?
14. Which is actually a 16.
Which would then be down to 15? The devil.
Not the devil.
Actually, hold on. So, 14, so that would be...
Yeah, isn't it 16?
Yes, that would be 15. That would be 15, the devil.
Wait, why would it be?
Because 0.
Oh, I got
So,
it.
0, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9... No 10 because no Wheel of Fortune. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so. The devil. The king of hell is cruel to those who have found themselves in his domain, but also a creature of excess, who sends those tormented souls to within his domain to furnish ever more extravagances in his name. In your case, I expect that there was someone in your past who took great glee in your suffering and took it upon themselves as a badge of honor.
Got it in 1. Got it in 1.
Now for your present. D19.
Huh?
Okay, so that would be
That one is 13.
9, which would be 8.
Hmm? Why
So,
would...
okay, so actually, hold on. So,
Yeah, it would go
1, 2,
13, which is
4,
Hanged
5,
Man.
Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The Hanged Man. The angler sails between the plains, casting his net behind him to bring mortal souls to the god of the dead's realm. He does not care for the specifics of his catch, nor for the length of the journey. You have a long road ahead of you, in which you will find you will find wisdom in difficulty. You will find strength in weakness, and you will grow through adversity into some new, as yet unformed version of yourself. And finally, for your future.
It is a
D18.
Thank you. Tres.
The Empress. Much like the High Priestess before her, the Empress is also lost to time, though we know something of... Actually, hold on.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the Empress, isn't it?
No, I know. I'm just wondering if, no, that would not be appropriate for this. Some have theories as to who the Empress might be. The Dragonborn of the Empire seem to think that she might be the Queen of Dragons. But, again, much like the High Priestess, her identity is a topic of debate. You, in your future, is an authority born of charisma and magnanimity. The nature of that authority is as yet undetermined, but you will be beloved by those who serve under you, and you will rally them toward a great cause.
That's interesting. I'm not really looking to be a leader anytime soon, but
You lead us all the
Best
time.
one-
that's
best
different.
Leaders often don't search it out.
I guide you guys. There's a difference.
In the meantime, Heroe hands you the Hanged Man.
Thank you.
Heroe, while I have you, we were given something by a very nice woman by the name of Carve while we were at the festival, and Tefrit said that it reminded him of something that you had? Would you mind taking a look?
Alright.
I will pull out that item from earlier.
Would you
It
like me
has
to
the
physically use the show for it, or are you gonna actually give it to him?
Show is fine.
Show is fun.
A woman by the name of Carve, you say?
Yeah, she
Yes.
said she was with the artists.
I think we've met her
Did you
before.
get any rancid vibes from this?
Give me just a moment. So now that you've had a bit of time to think about it, you think you probably, like, maybe you met her before, maybe you didn't. The vibes you get from it are still very strange, but they are different strange for you. It is a thing where it is beautiful, but you feel wrong about it anyway. It feels warm to you. It feels almost like a flower that has been broken, almost. It is both
Is not
beautiful to you and detestable.
It is not outright perverse like the other amulet, but it still should not be, by my reckoning.
Did I get any such energy from it at all?
Nope.
I once again narrow my eyes, and what about this is so abhorrent to you?
It's the broken moon, I think.
No,
Is
it's
it?
not that.
That's what it reminded me of.
It is difficult to express. It is a thing of grace and a thing of horror in the same breath. It should not be because it directly contradicts itself at every turn. I'm not saying it should not be because it should not exist.
Oh, I
in the
see.
first
Thank you.
place, but
Oh, interesting.
that
Well,
said,
you know,
Uh,
she said something very interesting when we met her, when she saw us. She said that we had part of this already.
Hero is going to take
Yeah.
out the mended Moonbreaker amulet.
Mm.
You have it.
Oh. It is mended to an extent, so I doubt that it can properly fuse, but if you look along where the gold was used to mend it, it does line up quite well.
Do you think it's worth unmending it and trying again?
No.
No!
Given
Do you
what
think
we
it's worth
know
mending
about
this one?
No, it is not quite as ill-fated as the other amulet. I believe it is best if we do not interfere with them for the time being. I will have Rat look into it on the morrow. On that topic, I have something of a project from the developmentalists. I am to investigate a... Now, let me see how he put it.
While you're thinking, I would just like to express that Kaio does not seem to be taking your concern very seriously. He's like, oh, not cursed, but it makes it... yeah, well... He does not really seem to get it.
Should we be looking for this woman again?
I certainly will be. How did you know that we had part of this already? That's my question. What an interesting thing to say.
Yeah, that's extra weird now.
She may have been there when we found it, if that is the case.
When did we find it?
We found it when we were meeting with the bandits headed by those 3 idiots.
Right.
They were nice enough.
I didn't contradict that.
Oh, well, I think back to the teeth that you were missing.
Those got fixed?
They did. I said past tense. Were.
Okay. Good.
You
So,
will not
essentially-
canonize my lack of teeth. Anyway.
So, essentially, there are shipments coming into the city from upriver that certain members of the artists have been very diligent about keeping hidden from the developmentalists. I have been tasked with investigating and essentially auditing what is going on, seeing as I am unaffiliated with the developmentalists. I intend to take a small group with me, not large enough to draw alarm, but large enough to potentially represent affiliation with a different group. Seeing as Friend has strong ties with the Naturalists, Tefford, I don't believe that you've interacted with the Integrationists much, but you do align ideologically with them, in my experience.
Yeah,
And Kyle,
probably.
you've spent a great deal of time with the Family of Unity. Would any two of you be interested in joining me for this?
He nods.
I'll admit I'm curious, although I'm not great with bookkeeping.
I will be the one primarily doing the bookkeeping, and I should also emphasize that this is to be done as non-violently as possible, and that nobody is to die.
He looks a little concerned when you say that. Are these shipments so important that they worry that someone would get violent over it?
Auditing can be a messy business.
We did not have auditors where I'm from.
That is a very funny idea. Oi, where'd you get that ship from? We stole it? Oh yeah, prove it.
Or just like, you've got all the loot from the ship and someone has to organize it. Are you stealing from the stolen ship? Yeah.
You're
Duh.
trying to kidnap what I've rightfully stolen.
Imagine being like, oh, you stand being accused of actually making a ship yourself. What say you in your defense?
The worst you
So
could do is
fucking
probably steal from a temple and then they would just drown you.
True.
There's not really auditing involved.
Yeah.
Straight to death.
Yep.
Death. Straight to jail.
Let me tell you, Umberly is going to be so pleased when you are no longer alive. Bye!
Also, on that note, I have a picture showing what that Revenant probably thinks about you. Posted in
Oh
the player chat.
no.
Oh no.
No! Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking
The fact that
iconic, honestly.
my past, judgment, god of the dead, present, yeah, that's fair. Future death? Okay. Why is my fortune so cursed?
Because you're cursed.
No, I know. We'll see.
Honestly,
There-
it is impressive that all three of them were so fucking accurate.
hmm
Does anybody have anything else they'd like to do before we close out?
Not today, I don't
Yes.
think.
After all of the readings are done, I would assume everyone starts to like leave for their rooms or whatever. And friend motions Hero to sit back down after the other two leave, and if they don't leave and if they see, he would just say if you'll excuse us for a second.
You get a thumbs up from Tefford and he'll go upstairs.
And once everyone's out of the room, friend will ask, who is that at the festival that you were talking to?
He was the one who told me about the job, so to speak.
He nods. He seems awfully happy.
Okay, now I'm... Oh, okay, right, yeah. Well... In part, it was to blend in with the people around us. But in part, I can imagine that there was some genuine relief that his worries might be taken care of soon.
I see.
Did you have any further concerns?
He thinks for a second whether or not he wants to bring it up. You seemed upset as he left.
Like I said, auditing can be a messy job. I hope that it doesn't become messy tomorrow, or whenever we end up getting to take care of this.
He nods. That is all then.
Alright. Tomorrow morning, I will seek the Rat King out, ask him to send some of his friends to scout it out, see if there are any traps that they may have set for us, in case they have untoward intentions. And then hopefully in the afternoon, we will travel there ourselves and see what we can learn. I will retire for the evening myself.
As will I.
Then with that, I think that is a great stopping point.
Hell yeah.
Almost exactly 2.5 hours of a rather joyous, legally distinct Wishnest Finch Festival.
Hell yeah.
I hope everyone enjoyed making a few wishes, having some good food, some good drink, and experiencing a variety of events from intrigue to joy to prize winning to maybe a bit of sadness. But it's all part of this. It's all part of it. Thank you all for being here. And I'd like to say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
See ya.
Bye.